Good morning. My name is Lisa Henderson, and this morning I'm going to share with you the most difficult and most rewarding decision that I ever made. 19 years ago, I was having the best week of my life. My husband and I just found out that we were expecting. It wasn't a big surprise because we had been trying, but we were so excited and had spent the entire weekend making our plans. My husband and I were such blessed children. My husband's mother stayed home with him, so he never had to go to daycare. And while my mother worked, I lived next door to my grandmother, so I too never had gone to daycare. So in our conversations, we decided that we wanted our child to experience that same thing. So, since my husband actually at the time made more money than I did, we decided that I would put my career on hold. And we spent the weekend planning how we were going to learn to live on one salary. We were going to pay off all our debts except for our mortgage so we could just relax and enjoy our new baby. Well, I went to work on Monday and I got an even bigger surprise. I got a promotion with a big raise. And even better than that, I was promoted to my dream job, the job that I had been spending the last 6 years preparing for. Now I was in a dilemma. While my heart told me that I wanted to stay home with my child, my mind told me that I would be crazy to lose this opportunity. I'm a very honest person, and I did tell my boss that I was expecting, and initially that I thought that I probably would not return to my job. But to be honest with you, I don't think my boss believed me. Everybody perceived me to be a very career-oriented person, and he told me that I could take my time and my job would be held until after my maternity leave so that if I wanted to return, I could. Of course, being young, I was talking to all my friends, telling them about my news, and each one of them would ask me, "What are you going to do? What are you going to do?" My younger friends, my very career-oriented friends, were like, "You're crazy if you stay home with your child. This is such a great opportunity." But as I spoke with older women, many of them would say, "I think you're making the right decision to stay home." But I was such a dilemma. I just didn't know what to do. But I spoke to this one lady, and her advice was profound for me. And she said, "Lisa, I've known many women who've worked and many women who've stayed home. And of my friends who've worked, I've never talked to one that retired from their job and said, 'I wish I would have spent more time working.' But I've spent time with many women who've looked back and said, 'I wish I would have stayed home with my children when I had the opportunity.'" That advice, amongst all others, is what made my decision. And I decided that even though I may take a step back in my career long term, that I was going to stay home with my child. And I did. And I will not tell you for 1 second that I never looked back on that decision, because I did. There are days that I wanted to go back to work so bad, it was about to kill me. I missed getting a paycheck, and I missed being important, going to meetings, having my own parking space, all the perks that comes with a job. But I think I would have missed my child more had I gone back to work. I always knew it was a good decision, but all these years later, now I'm very sure. I never experienced in the teenage years those terrible things you hear about disrespectful children. My children to this day still say yes ma'am and please. My children still hug me in public. And they still work hard to make straight A's in school. They work hard at being good athletes and being good citizens. That may have happened anyway, but I like to think that my years staying home with them made an impact. And I'm happy to say that my biggest fear never was realized. After spending 8 years staying home with my children, I re-entered the workforce, and while I took a step back in the beginning, I quickly regained my ground. I'm now a certified public accountant. I'm a partner in a small CPA firm and love what I do. So my advice to young women out there who may be considering staying home with their children, I would say go for it. If you're smart and you're a good worker, you can take time off and you'll be able to come back to the workforce. But you'll never get that chance to spend that time with your children ever again. Thank you.